Hello, boys and girls. When you hear this sound, turn the page. Let's start on the title page by looking at the pictures and following the words.
Away from a lot of things I thought would improve my life, but the one thing that I'm sure of is my love for Jesus Christ. Big car, big house, big bank, still empty inside. May not be a superstar, but some things money can buy. Carefree attitude is what I leave the house every day, because I know if mountains come, they'll be moved from my way. I believe in Him with every ounce of faith in me. All my chains will break and I will be set free. Cause He is the one, I'm guaranteed to have fun. Rock come out when I run, no damage will be done. Cause He is the one, I'm guaranteed to have fun. Rock come out when I run, no damage will be done.
I feel underdressed.
What do you mean?
I didn't realize I was gonna be doing a podcast with a 80s porn star.
What? Do we have a special guest on tonight?
Apparently I'm looking at him.
Joe, it's just me. It's Reese.
Oh.
This is how I dress.
Oh.
What's
all
up?
Right.
What's up, guy?
You look like a character from Boogie Nights.
What do you mean? This is how I always look like this.
Remember when in Boogie Nights, when John C. Reilly, Mark Wahlberg, and that third guy go to rob that drug dealer?
No.
You look like the third guy.
Oh, cool. Hang on, I gotta get my food. I haven't eaten yet, and it's making me cranky.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
It's making me hungry. He's making me hungry. What? There's a pure. Oh no, that's his microphone. Never mind. I was gonna say something stupid, and I just realized my own error of my ways. Oh, listener, I hope you are ready for just a fun-packed evening of nothing but pickle and boot shop goodness on the paid portion of the Patreon.
Joe, this is what people pay money for. Also, I need to show you this. This is what a salt shaker looked like at my grandma's house.
Yeah, those are the greatest.
Yeah, well, my ex-wife is like, that's a sugar shaker. I'm like, well, that's why everybody in your family has diabetes.
Yeah,
eat salt like a man.
She ain't wrong. I mean,
she's right.
You put a little cinnamon sugar in one of those things. Growing up, we always had one of those shakers with cinnamon and sugar.
Well, that sounds good.
Put that on buttered toast. Oh, thank you.
Hang on, I gotta heat it up.
Another piece of toast, please.
Hang on, we gotta start over again. I gotta heat this up.
This guy is unbelievable. If you guys can see him, if something in this show makes it into the lowlights, he's wearing a pink Wham shirt, a members only jacket. He has a giant Magnum PI mustache. He's got NASCAR glasses on, and his hair is more up than normal. And yeah, you look like the third guy in Boogie Nights. The like coke dealer friend that they go to rob that other coke dealer guy.
Well, that seems like a good business plan.
Yeah. So with the paid portion, there's a couple of things before we get into our songs. There's a couple of things that have popped up lately.
I'm glad you changed the subject, because I was about to tell you about my favorite part of Boogie Nights, and it's not for the listeners to hear. It's my special
heart. It's not for the faint of fart.
So the paid people.
Yeah. What?
What about it? No,
I'm saying.
I'm just saying that, like, my favorite.
When they,
the only thing I remember about Boogie Nights is Heather Graham.
Have you ever
being naked?
You know, Tim Tabor dated her.
Jeez. Like, if I've ever had a Hollywood crush, it is Heather Graham. Holy jeez.
Yeah, Tim Tabor and her dated.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
He's like,
go get your crap out of the microwave.
Oh, okay,
so you're not spending another time heating it up.
Thanks.
We can all hear it beeping in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I got to deal with. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I hate. Oh, is that what kind of sauce is that? What kind of sauce is that?
I recommend this Trader Joe's Peri Peri.
Oh, that's
sauce.
phenomenal.
That
stuff is great.
Yeah.
I put that on grilled chicken wraps, and it's phenomenal. What are you eating there? What did the people get to hear you slapping your lips together?
Half a baked potato from a week and a half ago at my sister's and some leftovers from the food at Father's Day. My kids and Kara took me to this German restaurant, and I think I'm the only one that liked it.
Yeah, that's not a stretch of the imagination. Women don't usually like the German restaurants.
Man, they were playing polka the whole time. How can you not like that?
Yeah. There's a place in Detroit. You can look it up online. You can look up YouTube's. It's called the Rathskeller.
Oh.
And it's in this horrible neighborhood, and it's fenced in with like 8-foot high razor wire fence.
You had me at razor wire.
And there's 2 armed guards that you pull your car in and park. It is in one of the worst neighborhoods. But it's this old German restaurant. And you go in there and it's one big room, and there's a guy who plays piano, and all they do are sing-alongs.
Oh, I want to go. Do they
Yeah.
do German food?
They do German food. The sing-alongs aren't necessarily German. Like, it's not necessarily like polkas and stuff. Like, they'll do God Bless America. They'll play it like old-timey, and then everyone in there, you get like the big Stein like mugs where it's like a pitcher of beer, and then everyone's just singing along, and you go there to sing. You don't go there to like, I'm gonna have like some German food, and that's annoying, I don't want to sing. Like, nobody does that. You go there to sing and eat and just have a great time.
You go there because you've been dating a lady for a couple months, and she's like, I think I really like you. I can really see myself just having you as a forever person. I don't want to say it, but I love you. And you're like, oh, honey, I thought of the perfect place to go.
Was that said this weekend?
No, this is the Rathskeller in this scenario. And you take her there, and then you just see, is she going to drink the Stein beer and sing along? Or is she going to be like, I need to go home. It smells like urine. A poodle bit me. What?
Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
Did you guys say that to each other this weekend?
Oh, yeah, man. We've been saying that for a while. For a while.
Oh, snap!
What?
What?
With these glasses on, it looks like I have novelty mustache and glasses.
That's what I've been saying for 2 years.
I'm keeping this mustache though, man. That's so rad.
Yeah, just get it bushier and bushier.
Yeah.
Before we get into the songs, there's a couple of things I wanted to bring up.
Before we get into the songs,
have you heard about this missing sub?
Yeah. I did hear about it.
Did you watch the video on what that thing looks like?
No. I just read a story, and they were like, it costs $250,000 a pop to ride in it. And I was like, yeah, enjoy those last breaths of air, you bitches.
That is, Reese, you are not far from the truth. You would, like, if I'm going down in a submarine, I want to see dials and knobs and gauges, and I want to see if this happens, you push this button. If this happens, you push this button or you turn this crank.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's in a budget submarine. You're paying $250,000 a pop to go down. I want to see a lot of flashy lights.
Reese, go to the BBC. They have a video of what this thing looks on the inside.
Uh-huh.
It has one button. You get in it. It is a tube with a flat floor. So the tube has like a carpeted floor. You sit on the carpeted floor. There's a couple of windows, and then there's TVs. In the upper right corner at the end of one of the cylinder is one power button. People, look this up. I kid you not. Go to the BBC.
They control it from outside of the sub?
Oh, no. I'm not done. So you push this green button in the corner like you're turning on an Xbox.
Yeah.
It lights up green. The button lights up green. That's the only button you turn on.
Carpet?
Then
There's
you
carpet.
have a PlayStation remote control.
A PlayStation remote control.
A PlayStation controller made by Logitech. It is a $35 controller at any store near you. Here in Michigan, we would call it Meijer. So at a Meijer or a Target, you could go buy a Logitech for $30. That is how the submarine is controlled. You guys go to the BBC.com and there's a section. They have the clip of the guy who built it, like the owner of this sub.
Seems
and it's about a 15-second clip. And he's like, yeah, this thing's real simple. You turn this button on, and he goes, it's only one button. And it's literally one button. And then he goes, yeah, this is a Logitech PlayStation 2 controller. And this is how you do it. He's like, this turns left, right. This goes up, down, like forward and back.
Oh, my Lord.
It is controlled. So these people that millions of dollars are going into searching for them, and these people paid $250,000 each to go down in this thing. There's one button to turn it on, and it's controlled by a PlayStation remote, a PlayStation controller. Like, are you kidding me?
I feel like
Are you kidding me?
You build your own sub, you go to get that thing licensed, there should be some sort of waiver. Like, yeah, we're not coming to look for you. Good luck with Davy Jones. JV Jones.
JV Jones. I mean, that is unbelievable to me. Like I said, if I'm paying $250,000, I want to be sitting in a seat. I want comfort. I want to know that if the oxygen cuts out, that there's a backup. I want to know if we lose power and we're sinking, that we have, I don't know, what do they call it? Ballasts that you hit and you float back up to the surface. I want to know if someone's dropping depth charges, we can shoot torpedoes.
Is there a bathroom? Where does that go? Does the pee-pee, does it save the pee-pee? Does it jettison it?
There is
is there poo-poo in there?
There is
I want to
a
know
toilet.
those things.
They did say there is a toilet behind a curtain.
Oh, jeez.
In it.
They're
And
like,
so
this should remind you of when you're in first class. And I'm
going to be honest with you.
To keep the poor people away from you.
If I'm grunting out a turd, a curtain in an enclosed submarine, that the whole thing is 12 feet long. You guys are
12 feet long.
You guys are screwed.
And they got,
and you're not
how many people are in there? 4?
You're not flushing it, so I'm guessing it's like a bucket.
4 people.
4 people. 4 people, and then like the captain. And then like what you do, the other thing that the article
there's a
says,
captain. And is there like a worker guy, or they're all just
the guy who's driving it with the remote?
That's the captain.
Yeah, that's the captain. Is the guy with the remote control.
I kind of feel bad for that guy because he's at work, but also
and then everybody else has a job. Like when you go down, you pay your money and you might be the navigator or somebody else might, I don't know. They had a couple of jobs that people have to do in the article I read. But go to the BBC. It shows that. I thought that was bananas. I wanted to share that with you.
Hey, here's the most famous shipwreck in world history. And as of note, it's like the grave of 1,000 people. Drive down here with your PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
And poop in a bucket behind this curtain.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I like the story of it. I wouldn't want to do it. If I had $250,000, I'd do something else.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a billionaire and his son. The billionaire and his son.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, I mean, everybody who's down there is millionaires. So $250,000 to them is probably what? $25 to us?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, them going down there, that's nothing. That's chump change to them. But nonetheless, even if I went to an amusement park and they're like, oh, $25 here to ride this roller coaster, but it doesn't have a lap bar and the guy running it has a PlayStation remote, I'd be like, nah, I'll pass. Even for $25, even for $5, I'll pass.
I'll pass. Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
So
the other
crazy.
thing that popped up today, and did you collect these? I saw on eBay, you know how I collect comic books, graded comic books.
Yeah.
I also have some graded sports cards. I saw today, I don't know why I never thought to look this up. I saw graded Garbage Pail Kids.
What?
Graded Garbage Pail Kids. And I think the most expensive one that I've seen is an Atom Bomb.
I think that was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1985 Atom. Well, I believe the Atom Bomb card is number 8. So
Okay.
I don't know what card is number 1, but I thought Atom Bomb was number 1 as well. But I think it says 8A because remember there was always a twin.
Oh, yes. I do.
So I think it was Atom Bomb and Blasting Billy.
Okay.
Or Billy Blast, something like that. But Atom Bomb was always one that was more money. That one in a grade 10 is $25,000. At least on eBay.
I have some. I
You have
saved them. Yeah, like I had a...
You have them from 1985?
Yeah.
Because they did a reissue in like 2011 or 2013.
No, I put them in a Band-Aid case. You remember those old metal Band-Aid cases? And I was like, I was like, save these till you're older. It says on the outside. And I have a bunch.
Oh, heck yeah. You should see what ones you have.
I know.
That'd be great. Yeah, so if you guys want to do a little bit of nostalgia, check out on eBay Garbage Pail Kids graded. And they are something. Man, we're talking about that FU money, that if you're that rich and you have money to burn, I would be purchasing graded Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah. I don't think I would. But I might be selling some.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Now, you guys, listeners, we have, it's difficult when you do a podcast. As you know from listening to us, it's difficult to always have content. It's difficult to find stuff that's funny to talk about. It's hard to find starting points and things like that. And so Reese and I came up with the idea of we're just going to start kind of going through our catalog of songs. So I don't know how many Five Iron has done, but the Insiders have roughly done 95 songs. And so what we're going to do on these Patreons is each episode, each week, we're each going to talk about a song. Now, I'll tell you this. Sometimes we're going to have tons of notes and we're going to be able to tell you tons of things about that song and maybe stories that come about of how it was written, what albums they were on, stories about that, how it was recorded, maybe things that happened while playing the song live or whatever. But then there's going to be dud songs. There's going to be songs that there's not a lot to go on. But maybe those are going to be episodes where while we talk about a dud song or something, that is a springboard that takes us into something to talk about, or memories that we haven't heard, that we haven't remembered, that you guys haven't heard us talk about. So hopefully that's what we want to do. We want to start going down that road and just kind of reviewing it. The way I got this idea was I just recently got into, I've never watched a show before in my life. I recently got into watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
And they have a podcast. When COVID hit and Hollywood shut down, they decided to meet as a podcast. So the three guys that are on that show, and they started and they went back to season 1, episode 1. And each one of their podcasts is like a half hour, and they talk about that episode and kind of in the way that I just explained it. Sometimes there's really nothing to talk about, but in nothing to talk about, they find something to talk about. So we're going to try and do that. So
it's going to be wonderful. Guys,
it's gonna be wonderful.
Joe is underselling it. This is the best podcast basically you can get. And it's only $5 a month. Sorry for anybody that paid more than $5. But
Man, you got bamboozled.
no, we appreciate it.
We appreciate it big time.
I
But
need some more peri-peri sauce.
that stuff is good. It's like
It's
a
out.
vinegary pepper.
It is good.
It is very
The
good.
Trader
It is.
Joe's.
It's very good on pork.
Yeah.
Grilled pork. Oh man.
Pork.
So good.
Grilled
Or like
donkey
grilled chicken thighs.
Oh,
grilled
chicken?
thighs.
thighs.
Yeah.
Hamster.
So anyway, you guys, this week, Insiders, we're gonna be talking about the much critically acclaimed Buddy Boy.
Uh-huh.
And Reese, what song were you doing? What's the first song down the road that you're going?
So we had a 7-inch that came out as our demo called It's Funny But Not Very Creative.
Okay.
But it had songs that we put out on our first album. They're just worse recordings.
Yeah.
Um,
Same here.
so I'll just talk about those songs. So
Okay.
starting with Five Iron Frenzy, Upbeats and Beatdowns.
Okay.
I'll start there.
And you're just gonna go track 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've done, I don't want to say zero preparation, but
But zero
0.5%.
Okay. Do you want to start?
No, I want you to start.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be reviewing Buddy Boy, and just like you, this was a song that was put out on a 7-inch prior to us getting signed to, I guess what you would call a bigger label. I was going to say a major label, but it wasn't a major label.
KMG,
Yeah, KMG.
that was huge.
Gumshoe record.
Gumshoe also very big.
So basically, let me see here. Let me pull up my notes. So we put out a 7-inch on a label that was called Beat Hotel, and it was a local label. A local guy here who's plugged into the independent scene, loved ska, and so there were just a couple of bands on his label, and he approached us about putting out our 7-inch. So we went in, we recorded at, it was called Sound Camp Studios. It was the first time I had ever recorded. The reason we went to Sound Camp was because Nate Sjogren, he had a hardcore band. It was him and his brother and a few other guys. They were in a hardcore band called Ground State, Ground, Ground State. And they recorded there. So when it was time for us to record, Nate was like, I know a guy. We went out there and we recorded this 2-song demo, and we recorded Buddy Boy and The Walking Dead. Now, Buddy Boy is the first song that I ever wrote. You guys remember hearing that when we started to figure out our sound and what we sounded like, we did covers of praise and worship songs, which then eventually became the Scallelujah album. So Buddy Boy was the first song I ever wrote. And here's the thing. When you listen to the demo version, if you have our 7-inch called Rockin' the Hubcat, now mind you, Rockin' the Hubcat came about because Nate and Al Brown, our trumpet player, went to get the album pressed and kind of do the art for it. And they just came back and we were like, what are we going to call it? And they were like, we already chose it. And it was just an inside joke between them two that they decided to name the album. So none of us got a say in what the name of our 7-inch was. It was an inside joke between Al and Nate. So it came out Rock in the Hubcat. So the demo version was absolutely brutal. I was new to singing. I was never in choir or anything like that or other bands. I was trying to find my voice. I thought the coolest sounds were, Dickie Barrett, and I didn't think I could sing like that. So another local band, you may have heard of them, Mustard Plug. I kind of heard how that guy sang, and I was like, you know what? I can kind of mimic and kind of constrict my throat to sound like him. So that's what I did. And so the first demo is absolutely horrible. I'm singing so high. I sound like a little kid. It's like, I broke away from a lot of things that I would approve my life. But the one thing that I'm sure of is my love for Jesus Christ. Now,
that is not how you sound, Joe.
on the demo, it is. On the demo, it is horrible. Yeah. So I'm embarrassed of that on the demo, and mainly because of my vocals. Now, here's the other thing. Because that's what's stuck in my head when I think of Motor City Ska and when I think of the song Buddy Boy, I get terribly embarrassed. And again, it's not embarrassment as far as like I'm embarrassed about what we're singing about or things like that. There's maybe one or two lines that are a little cringy. But again, I wrote it when I was younger. It's more embarrassing that it's, I don't know, like anything you do as a kid, right? Anything you do as a kid, and your parents recorded and then you listen to it or you watch the video, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. It's more like that. So it's cringy that it's like 17, 18-year-old Joe's lyrics being sung. Now, when I reread the lyrics to go over this, I'm actually proud of those lyrics. They're actually decent lyrics. And I don't really have an issue with them. So when I read through, they were not as cringy as I remembered. This is a song that I don't listen to because I've been embarrassed. So I went back and I reread the lyrics, and I honestly think if we reworked the song or I kind of sang it different or something, I kind of think it would still possibly hold up. Like the lyrics I reread, and I'm like, you know what? They're not as bad as I thought they once were. Now I do have to say something. There's something about me back then. There's a lot of songs in like our early album, like on that Motor City Ska, where like drugs and cocaine are talked about.
Yeah, I just figured it was because you guys did a lot of drugs.
Yeah, just cocaine. Did a lot of blow. The Insiders were just into booger sugar, and
is that what you call it?
That's what it's called on the street.
With the lingo on the streets.
Yeah, that's what it's called on the street up here. But
you say the streets or the screet?
The streets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had
up here
chicken scripts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go on. You've been on the streets. You're doing cocaine.
Yep. So I wish I didn't sing about drugs so much.
Do you?
Because now 20 years later, that those were a little cringy, and especially like a lot of times I was talking about like weed, and now that it's legal almost everywhere, it just sounds lame hearing that. So that made me laugh. One thing that stood out with Buddy Boy is our horn section.
Yeah.
I think on Motor City Ska, our horns are amazing. And I really think when our first album came out, I really think that's I don't want to say separated us. I think it separated us from like local bands. And I think it put us in the conversation with the big three. Because obviously my lyrics weren't putting us where you and the Supertones were. I think it was the fact that we had phenomenal horns, and listening to the horns on that song, I'm like a proud papa. Like listening, that was Mike Rowland, our trumpet player, or I mean our trombone player, and Al Brown, our trumpet player. And those guys sound fantastic with that song.
I gotta say something about this because, like, I mean, so no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to sound like, dude. Your lyrics are fine. They're great, and
No,
your
no.
singing is great, and it got
You're-
better.
What
Oh,
you
I'm
first
missing the
said,
point of this.
what you first said, my lyrics are fine.
Yeah, but
I
like,
believe that.
okay, so but like, they're more than fine. Like at times, I think they're gems, and but like Five Iron, that's like, I'm definitely not known for singing or remembering lyrics, but I'm okay at writing them, and that has made us like somewhat accepted as a band. Like people are like, yeah, I like Five Iron. That is cool, but like I totally like I don't know. It's that's the thing of Five Iron. I mean, like our horn playing is not the thing. We have one really amazing horn player and two great people that I love very much that also play horns. But like, I mean, I think that was so cool about your band. Like your horn section was just fucking smoking.
Yes. I'm
We
glad
played-
you think so. Because
We played with the Toasters, and like the Toasters, we went on tour with them. They had one trumpet player that was just phenomenal, but like I would put your horn players up against them. I would put your horn players against any ska band we ever played with.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
they're so good.
Yeah, they are. And I agree with what you said. I think my lyrics were fine, but they got better. And
Yeah.
my vocals got better because as I went on
Definitely.
tour, I was singing every day. I found my niche. I found my groove. And I became comfortable in my own skin and how I sounded. I think I did, just like anybody, you get better with your instrument and all that stuff. I think that happened with me. And I think as far as lyric writing, I do, whenever I come across somebody who's never heard of the Insiders and they're like, oh, you guys are on iTunes, or Spotify, like, what should I listen to? Tell me a song. I always say either listen to our Soundtrack to a Revolution or Sinner's Songbook, because obviously those are lyrics that were written when I was older, that I had a better grasp of what I was trying to convey, those types of things. So obviously when you write when you're young, I don't know. I was young, I was sheltered, I was naive, and that's where those lyrics came from. And those other albums were written after marriage, after divorce, after issues in life. And those first albums were all written when I was a kid. I had my biggest challenge was, I have $300 to get me through a month on the road with eating and stuff like that. And that's not really an issue when you're a kid. I hadn't faced any trials or tribulations in my life. And so when you get, I think I've said this on this podcast before. It's like when we started in the scene and we went out on the road, it's like when you watch Band of Brothers and you're that rookie group of Marines that just got dropped onto the island and your uniform is like nice and clean and all your equipment is brand new. And you're just like, oh, we're here. We're going to win the war. And then the guys that are coming off from their tour are just like war torn. The look in their eye is different. Their uniforms are ragged. They're dirty.
Yeah.
All their equipment's broken. Like that's what happens. Like when you're a Christian, you learn about this stuff growing up. You learn about Christ and you learn about that stuff. And then you go through life and you get knocked around. And that's where the true test of Christ and your faith, that's where that litmus test is. And so that's what I think, like Soundtrack to a Revolution and then Sinner's Songbook was after trials and tribulations. And so that's where I think the writing from those albums obviously got a lot better. But this one being the first song I ever wrote, Buddy Boy, I don't know. You guys know, I bash this album. I bash this early stuff all the time. I hate that first demo. When people post it that they have it, I'm just, I cringe. But reading over today, I'm proud of the lyrics that are on there. I'm proud of little 17-year-old Joe that wrote those lyrics, who sang like crap, but had a message and conveyed that message and didn't wuss out of conveying that message. So that was fun. And the recording process in Sound Camp, I remember, I don't know if you guys were like this with your first recording. We had like all put in money. And so we knew how much money we had and we knew how much an hour the studio was. So it was like, we need to go. We need to get our songs. Everyone lay down your tracks. Like you have you have like 1 or 2 times to get it right. And I remember our bass player for our demo, his name was Darren Burrell. And Darren could not get his bass line. And he was like, well, just give me a minute. We're like, Darren, we don't have a minute. Like we have a couple of hours. We paid for like 5 hours in the studio or 6 hours
figuring out.
Yeah, you can't be. Yeah, and so I think we had like 5 or 6 hours, and that was to record everybody and to mix and master. And like Darren's taken like an hour, 2 hours on a song, and we're just like, oh, we about lost it.
Did you get to a point where you were just farting around and not getting it done?
No. Never.
You never got to that point? Man,
Never.
Fiverr, we wasted so much time. I think part of it was just because we didn't have a record label that got it. They would just be like, well, you got to get in the studio. You got to turn out some product. And we'd be like, well, we don't have it yet. And they'd be like, all right, go to hang out with Saki. They also had Saki. So we'd be living with Saki, sitting there every day.
We never had that. And it might be that Midwest blue collar kind of thing that like we all grow up with here, where your parents go to the factory and your parents go and they work hard every day for 10 hours a day and come home. So I think that's what it was. Like whenever the Insiders, whenever we went into the studio, we were going, we were working. It wasn't like, oh, we're in the studio for the day and we kind of screwed around. The only thing I can ever remember screwing around with was on Soundtrack to a Revolution. I went to Tubby's sub shop. You've had Tubby's. I got it for you up here when you came up here.
You did?
Yeah, it was a sub shop. And I remember eating Tubby's and it gave me diarrhea. And so I went back to the studio and my stomach was rumbling. And Royce Nunley was recording us. He was our producer on that album. Yeah. And I go, dude, let's set up microphones all around the toilet and capture me having diarrhea. And so I'm like holding it in while he's hurry up setting up 3 microphones. He did like one to get the room ambiance. He did one like underneath the lid. And then he did another one that was like between my legs. And so I went in there and I blew it out. I blew it out. It was perfect. It was disgusting. And we got the sound for it. And then we sent Tim Tabor, like the rough mixes. And then at the end of it, like, so the last song, and then at the end of it, it was like the last note of the last song was like bank. And then it goes like just horrible diarrhea sound. And Tim was like, what in the world is at the end of that song? And they're like, oh, it's Joe having diarrhea. And he was like, that ain't even funny. That's not even funny, man. But we didn't screw around. We went in there, we worked, we did what we were supposed to do, and we got out. Because it was always like the money. Like we were always just worried about money and all that. So we didn't screw around. We went in there, we handled business, and we got out. So that was Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. We got to a point where it was like you're just like, this is costing money. I was always like that. But the worst was just like, this sucks.
we should have worked this out instead of coming in here where everybody's nervous and we're sitting here on the clock making those people in there wait while we're figuring out this.
That still to this day is bizarre. I think you told me that.
Man. It was
on our
mostly me. Like
podcast.
They'd be like, "Hey, we got the song done." I'm like, "Did you forget this part?" And like, "Nah, we don't care about that." It was me singing. Like they just was like, "You'll figure it out. We'll be recording, and you go upstairs and do it for real." Like it was an afterthought to the rest of the band, which is like, that's fine. I mean, like it didn't. It wasn't that it hurt my feelings. I just like know we could have done better had somebody had the foresight to turn on a radio once in a while and be like, why is this song on the radio? Oh, that melody and the singing and the lyrics? Weird. Maybe we should focus on that.
Yeah, they all work together in harmony.
Let's
in fact,
do
that's
that.
another
Let's
thing.
work on
Harmonies.
that in our new band, in our next album. Let's try that.
Yeah. But instead, you sat in the studio and created such wonderful songs like These Aren't My Pants.
We did do that. That was actually created on an airplane ride back to the studio because we had to play shows in the middle. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So
we've talked about a lot of this stuff before, but it's good to like hash it out.
Yeah. No, so that was Buddy Boy. Those are some of the things that I can remember recording it. Oh, one of the last things I remember in Sound Camp, they had an AP magazine.
Okay.
An AP magazine with
Associated Press. No. It was Alternative Press.
Alternative Press.
Yeah.
And it had Rancid on the cover. And Rancid, the magazine in it was where Rancid, I believe, where they first stated no punk band will ever sell 1 million albums. And they were dead set against it because they were asking them about Green Day. Green Day and Dookie had been really good. And Rancid, if I remember the article, they were taking a slant against Green Day. So like Rancid was like, yeah, Green Day ain't punk because no punk band will ever sell 1 million albums. And then out come the Wolves hit stores. And all of a sudden, them guys are eating their words.
Yeah. Well, it's also funny because both the singers are cousins.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, Tim and Billy Joe.
Tim
Armstrong, I think, is Billy Joe Armstrong's cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So maybe he was just talking shit about his cousin to make fun of him.
Maybe. Yeah, but the old no punk band will ever sell 1 million albums. And they had not released an Out Come the Wolves yet.
Which is one of the top 10 best albums of all time.
Just phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, yep. So that's my story of Buddy Boy. What do you got? What did you got?
Going back to Buddy Boy. Did you change the lyrics up when you recorded it for the actual album?
No. So the lyrics,
you just changed the way you sang it. You had gotten better.
Correct. Yeah. So it was probably a year later and so it was a full year of singing every day for a full year. Because the Insiders, we made sure if we went out on the road, we were playing every single day. We weren't taking nights off. So even if it was a Monday night and we could play at some podunk church in some podunk town for at least dinner and to be able to sleep on the church floor, then we would do that. We would play for their youth group for a spaghetti dinner and to sleep on the floor. So that's what we did. So it was just the grind every single day of singing. And I think it got to be where I didn't know how to sing. So when I sang,
were you just blowing out your throat doing that?
Exactly.
Like, we got to play every night. You're like, ah!
That was exactly it. So that's where like that gravelly things started coming from. And my vocal cords are probably covered in nodes or nodules, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And that's how when I screw around and sing, I sing from my diaphragm.
Yeah.
Like I can't sing as high as you, but I can sing like you, where you're like, Ave Maria. Like I could do all that from my diaphragm. But there's something about when I get on stage with the Insiders, I grab that microphone, it's a growl comes out. My throat just closes up, and that's what comes out. But when I'm farting around, I could sing whatever pop songs on the radio. I could sing right along with Taylor Swift and sing falsetto and, do all that for fun. But when I get on stage, my throat just closes up.
You get nervous and these muscles
something.
just get tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're fighting against that all night.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I've learned is like when I start going hoarse.
You drink Fireball.
Yeah, I drink Fireball. No, I mean, that's one trick. But it's like, it's realizing that you're tensing up your neck, tensing up your throat, and then just take the pressure off that by just singing, by like taking a deep breath and pushing it out, and do that for your singing mechanism. Sometimes I'll put my hand on my throat, like just touch it and just tell it to be, it's okay, man. Just calm down.
Just petting your Adam's apple.
Just like, okay,
your Reese's apple.
Hey, buddy, just take a break. Just do that. And then it helps. And there's some other shit.
Tips and tricks.
Tips and
tracks. So what are you doing? You're going track 1?
Yeah, track 1, album 1, our newest, not our newest album, Upbeats and Beatdowns. We had recorded this song, The Old West. Usually Scott would write a song, or at this point, like Dennis wrote a couple on that album, and Micah had written a couple. We were still figuring out who's writing and whose writing is good. It's still like that. Like you're still trying to figure out who, but mostly it's Scott. And at this point, it was mostly starting to be Scott. I think Micah wrote this album. I'm not positive. I should look it up. Did I did do a search on it. Nope. Where'd you go, buddy? Here we go. Nope. I just closed the tab. Anyway, I think Micah wrote it. But they would hand me a tape. So they'd be in the basement and goofing around playing stuff and be like, what about this? And then I'd write music over it. Or I think in those days, a lot of times they'd just be trying to put together a song. Like, this sounds like an intro. And and then where do you go from there? Verse. Okay, what would the chorus go? Or they'd come up with a chorus and just, like we're still trying to figure out songwriting, but we knew like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus was like a good way to get
formula
through your song. Maybe there'd be an intro, maybe there'd be an outro. And I just remember when I first heard it, I was like, this sounds like a Western. And we used to like
the opening to like Bonanza.
Yeah. Well, so if you imagine that, it was about halftime of what it is on the album. And so it was like, and so I was like, oh, this totally sounds like some loping, cowpokey cowboy song. And before that, Keith and I had started Exhumator, which was like a metal band, and then became an industrial band, but metal. Before that, Keith and I would goof around in my garage, and we had like several ideas for bands. One of them was called Naked Fish, NAYKD FYSH, because we were trying to be like wild stallions, like Bill and Ted.
Yeah, or like the Insiders.
Uh-huh.
Just Y's and Z's wherever you can.
But we had this song, and it was like, like this, the music like chugging, just like, and the whole lyrics just went. So it was like this kind of ballady thing, like, talking about some cowboy doing things, and then he gets shot or something. I cannot remember, but it like the chorus is like, "The Old West sucks." we would play it, we're in high school, and we just thought it was like the funniest thing because it's switched from like this kind of dingly ballad where you're just like cowboys and the Indians are friends, and then they get killed, and they're like, "The Old West sucks." so when I started writing this song, I was like, that was still in the back of my head. Like, this sounds like that, and it's funny, but it just kind of twisted to where we made it be about, I don't know. I mean, like, we're from Colorado, so there's like already this stereotype of us being like a Western cowtown and in Denver, and just to play around with that, I was like, this is, this would be funny to write this song about how, like, just this really tongue-in-cheek song about how, like, which I got in trouble with Scott because he was like, "Stop writing songs about Indians." But our very first song is about Native Americans being mistreated. So we did it, and we had made it on a demo, and it, of course, kept getting sped up because Andy he's just manic, like he's calmed down quite a bit. But in those days, you'd start playing a song, and by the end of the song, the tempo would have gone up like 30 BPM. So that, from when we wrote it to when we were pumping it out, it was like way more punk rock because it was so fast. But when we were doing the album, like the order of the album.
Wait, can I stop you?
Yeah.
Was there a point where you guys were like, wait, I think this sounds better? Remember, like in That Thing You Do?
Yeah.
When they started doing that song and Guy Patterson comes in and he's like, no, this has to be played faster. Did you guys come to a point where, like, after show, you're like, you know what? This song does sound better faster?
I don't think there was ever that point. Like, you could go back and listen to the demo and be like, wow, we used to play that so slow. It just got to this point where Scott would be like, why do you write so many words? And I'd be like, it fit, a year ago, it was slow. And now I can't catch my breath. But like, it's, I don't know. I have a feeling, I think on that first album, Saki was like, hey, let's figure out tempos. And we had done a demo, and it was maybe the first time we had ever had to like play our stuff to a click. And I believe we slowed it down from what we did on, like what we did live. But the crazy thing was we were the first band like ours on 5 Minute Walk. And I mean, so that's not, I mean, we were first ska punk band and definitely the only, but like, I think later, they added the Smiley Kids and the W's, and so it was a little bit more edgy. But Frank kind of didn't know what to do with us, just the fact that it was so edgy. I mean, like, Dime Store Prophets had a song called Hitler's Girlfriend, which was super edgy. It was just like kind of comparing yourself as being somebody that doesn't give a crap about what's going on to being Hitler's girlfriend. Like the chorus, I think, goes, I feel like I'm Hitler's girlfriend, blind to this and numb to that. So he had that, I think, in the back of his head. And he's like, hey, maybe we should cut that song. And we're like, we were thinking about putting it first. And Frank, this is a good Frank move. Like he just said, okay, I believe in you guys. I know your hearts are there, and I know, this is a good thing that you're saying, but maybe you could write a little something to go in the album jacket to explain why. And so before the lyrics in it, like I had to sit down and write out like a little, not like a paragraph, just saying like, this is why we're writing this. And that was kind of like the gauntlet of Five Iron Frenzy being dropped, that we're funny. We joke around, like we're goofy all the time, but we also kind of like make you laugh and then sock you in the gut. So,
well, that is what you guys do. Like, it's like on a much, much, much tamer scale. You guys are like South Park. They always say like South Park, you're going to laugh for 10 episodes, but then something that you hold dear is going to be made fun of.
Yeah.
And you got to expect it. And that's what you guys always did. Like when you guys write, you're laughing about stuff. There's all these funny things. And all of a sudden, track 4 comes on of Name the Album. And all of a sudden, what you think is funny, you're like, oh, wait a second. Like he's singing like Freddie, like your song about Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Mr. Fahrenheit. Like all of a sudden, like that's not funny. That's not a funny song. That's
right.
Like, that's like a love letter, to Freddie Mercury or an apology to Freddie Mercury. And so you're laughing and laughing and laughing. And all of a sudden it's like the thing where you're like, wait, what? And then it's like, rewind that, and so that's what you guys always did. It was like jokey songs. And then all of a sudden you're a verse and chorus in. And how I think I'm trying to put jokes together, you're like, wait, these aren't jokes. Like this is serious.
Yeah. I think here's the thing. Like, I feel like I would go to Christian shows, growing up and being in youth group, and you go see these bands and they'd be so serious, but they'd pepper their banter in between with jokes. And it was like canned jokes. They had been telling these same jokes the whole tour, but I didn't know that then. You're just like, oh man, My Line of Broken Heart is funny. Now let's hear this song about how we betrayed Jesus, and I don't like, it seems manipulative, like to me, I think if you're funny, then be that. And if, you're goofy, you're the class clown, get out there, put that first. You have something to say it that way, and to me, like, I feel like it kicks just a little bit harder to make something superficially funny, but then deep, like Blue Comb, where you're like, oh, this is a funny thing to write a punk song about. Like his sister threw the comb out the window. It sounds like he's really sad, but it is, like it's about my parents getting divorced.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, I love the metaphor of loss, where you're just like, by the end, you're like, I kind of care about that comb. And then the more it sits with you, you're like, oh shit, this is real. I like to write stuff like that. So
yeah, no, for sure. That was because I don't remember, forgive me with this 46-year-old memory. I don't remember like a song sticking, like Upbeats and Beatdowns was like, that was your fun introduction into the business.
Yeah.
And I feel like Upbeats and Beatdowns maybe something went over my head. And like I said, maybe I'm not remembering, but there wasn't like a song where I'm like, ooh, this is kind of like what we're talking about now. It wasn't until our newest album ever. And as we talk about these, moving forward, hopefully I'm not stealing any of our thunder in the future, but that's what it was Blue Comb. I think that's track 3 on that album. I could be wrong.
It's the next album.
our next album ever.
Our next album ever.
Yeah. Our newest, wasn't it on our newest album ever?
Yes, it's on our newest album ever.
Yeah. And so I thought that was like Blue Comb I thought that was like track 3 or 4.
Man,
but if I remember, I'm going off memory on this. So like, I remember like it's starting out, it's like Handbook for the Sellout. It's Sucker Punch. And all of a sudden, boom, you get Blue Comb 78. Is that the name of it?
yeah.
And all of a sudden you get hit there and, you were laughing about, 10 people in a stinky van and all these different things and Sell Out and all that. And then all of a sudden you get that. And that was something that was different. That was something that was different for Five Iron. And again, I don't want to steal any thunder for future stuff, and then wasn't there also, was that the album that Dennis sang a song about seasons or something like that?
Second season.
Yeah, that album, all of a sudden, like it went from like, you guys were introduced to like the market as this funny punk joke. Not understand what I mean when I say joke band. Joke band, but you're funny and stuff like that. And you had a great stage show and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, our newest album ever came out, and all of a sudden, like you're getting funny, but at the same time, you're getting stuff where you're like, wow, this is like legit what they're talking. Like I get what they're talking about and stuff. So I know we're getting off topic. We're getting off of Wild West, but this is what we're talking about, people, when we start doing this. Hopefully this is what sparks this as we go through these songs.
Yeah. That's cool. This is fun.
Do you have any more? Do you have any more? Anything more to add? We're at about an hour. Do you have anything more to add about Old West?
No. Yeah. I mean, I talked about it. I like it still. Like I read it. I still see myself writing it. I still remember, trying to write these hammy kind of cowboy sounding lyrics, like talking about a cannon brimmed with powder. And then just like the tongue in cheek of like, if they don't believe me, we'll just beat them and yell louder. It's funny. It's funny to me, but it's also, it's a serious thing. And I guess, I mean, I don't regret it at all. I love that that's our first track. I love that we kind of stood up to say, hey, Frank, this is important, because it is like a manifesto of Five Iron. That like, this is what we are. We're funny. We're punk. We're ska.
We're Western.
We make fun of the Pharisees, and we look out for the people that don't have anybody else to look out for them. And I like that.
I do too. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
Good job. So let's wrap this up. So peeps, hopefully somebody's like driving to work and they're like, you know what? This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for, Tanya, yelling to your wife in the next room. This is what I've been waiting for, Tanya.
We're getting a divorce.
Yeah. By the way, and now hopefully you feel like you're getting your money's worth, and you can share that with somebody to say, hey, listen to these guys. Check them out. This is what we've been waiting 2 years for, is for them to finally get their act together and get a focus and start talking about some of this behind the scenes stuff. For the freebie stuff is always going to be us talking just out of our butts. Literally, I have been practicing talking out of my butt.
We spent most of the week scripting out what we're going to talk about. And then sometimes we go a little bit off script.
Yeah.
A little bit. It takes a long time to remember those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, you guys. So I wonder if this will make the low light. Me trying to touch my nose with my bottom lip. See you guys. Have fun.
Pizzeria. Meow. Think Think they'll appreciate that meowing?
Yeah.
When you like this. West Side?
East Side. East Side, baby.
Why does East Side look just like West Side? West Side's like this. I would.
West Side, you cross them, right? Like this. East Side, you hold the pinky ring.
Wow. I'd be punched. I mean, I have to be East Side because I can't do West Side without using the other hand. I'd get beat up in that game. East Side, though. Got it.
Do it. I have to real quick text my daughter.
I'm gonna.
This is what you guys
recording.
This is what you guys are paying for.
This is
I'm
what
looking
you-
down at my phone, texting my daughter.
We already said goodbye, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Bye, jerks.